Hello, Internet! My name is Catherine Barsonistas, and you are watching The Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis, a show where I make a recipe based off of various tabletop role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons, Shadowrun, and in case of today, Pathfinder. We are doing a little bit of an experiment today, as for those on Reddit who are very confused right now. We are trying to do a little bit of Reddit Live at the same time. Hi, there's probably no one on there right now, but that's perfectly fine. For those joining me on Reddit, anyone who is listening, my name is Catherine Barsonistas. You are watching The Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis. I'm currently streaming on Twitch on twitch.tv/TheGluttonousGeek. I run a nerdy food blog where I make recipes inspired by various, everything from movies, TV shows, role-playing games, and books. So my weekly cooking show is here on Twitch. Munchies and Minis is where I make recipes inspired by various tabletop role-playing games. And today's episode, we are going to be making some honeyed pumpkin bread, Lumi's honeyed pumpkin bread from Pathfinder role-playing games, Pathfinder First Edition's module of Realm of the Fell Night Queen. This particular module takes place in Andorran, which is a country kind of based off of I want to say early North America, and my cat is meowing because I am talking, and that means it is time for him to chat as well. Your party manages to come upon a wedding, a gnomish wedding, and at this particular wedding, right beforehand, not only is everyone feasting and drinking tons and tons of mead, they are also having a little bit of an auction, very much in the style of the musical Oklahoma, where you have all the young ladies having box lunches for auction. There's a chance to have a lunch cooked by your favorite lady, but in this case, it's the bridesmaids, and it's for your favorite dessert, their dessert that they've made up. This particular one is made by the gnome Lumi Reason Not, and it is the one that is going to be bid on the highest during said auction. So first, I wanted to come up with some kind of honeyed pumpkin bread pumpkin cake that would be worth about 25 gold or more. Which, not necessarily as far as expensive ingredients, but as far as something interesting enough, not just, because the bridesmaid's pretty. But also, a big thing with gnomes in the Pathfinder universe is that they are actually from kind of the Fey realm itself. And because of that, their ties between the material world and the Fey world tend to kind of eventually dissipate. And within that, it's a process called the bleaching that all gnomes are actually quite terrified of, because it basically turns them into kind of vegetables. It's the reason why gnomes are so eccentric is that it is specifically to keep off the whole concept of the bleaching. So today we're going to keep out the bleaching by making a chamomile and honey soaked pumpkin cake made with dried cranberries, rosemary, and nutmeg. So, let's go ahead and get started before I just start rambling on and on. Take a sip of mead. So obviously, first you need to get your ingredients together. My first thing I need to do, I'm just going to go ahead and switch cams here on Twitch. Once again, if you're watching on Reddit and want to get the multicam experience, follow me on twitch.tv/TheGluttonousGeek. And you can watch and comment there as well. So I got some chamomile tea here. I'm going to need about a cup of water in my saucepan here. Once I get a measuring cup we'll just use this thing right here. Quarter cup measuring cup, you're going to need about a cup of water. 2, 3, 4. And you're also going to want a lid for that saucepan as well, because we're essentially going to be making tea with the chamomile tea as a base for flavor base for our syrup. We're also going to be soaking our dried cranberries in there as well. So first, I just need to get that sucker boiling. and we'll start on that. In the meantime, gotta gather my other ingredients. So what I've got here is a 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, half a teaspoon of regular granulated salt, a teaspoon of baking powder, and I'm just going to go ahead and just drop that right in there. We're also got plenty of fresh rosemary here that I just picked from my garden. And we're going to need about, how much? A 1/4 cup of fresh chopped rosemary. So while I am waiting for that water to boil, I am just going to go ahead and strip the rosemary off the branch, not my clothing. And that's a good amount so far. My chef's knife and a quick tutorial for those who don't know how to hold a kitchen knife properly. No, you don't hold it like this. I'm just going to switch to the tripod cam here. You do not put your finger here. Your knife will slip out of your hands and you will chop your fingers off. Not fun. So what you want to do, I'm just going to switch the prep cam here for those here on Twitch, and I'm going to kind of angle it down here so the people on Reddit can see me as well. You take the index finger of your dominant hand, in my case it's my right, and you put here on the other side of the blade there, right up against the handle. Then you take your thumb, put it right there on the other side of the blade, and then comfortably wrap your fingers around the handle. Because as you can see, just kind of as a demonstration, when I try to, it doesn't take me much effort at all. Even if I hold this really tightly, that blade's going to slide all over the place. However, if I do this pinch here, with just the littlest amount of force whatsoever, it's not going to move. And it sounds like my water is boiling. So I'm going to switch to our, you were looking there. I'm just going to go there. We are at a boil. So, just gonna find where the heck I put my trivet so you can see what I'm doing here, Reddit. So we are just at a boil here. Just gonna switch to our prep. So, cup of boiling water, tea bag, half a cup of dried cranberries. Just gonna stick that in there, cover it with the lid, and then put it away for about 15 minutes to let steep. So I'm just gonna set a timer here for about 15 minutes. There we go. Right, back to chopping rosemary. So I'm just gonna give this a rough chop here. Using the top of my hand to keep control of this knife. All right. And how much was that? Dry off this really quick. Also, in the meantime, I'm also going to preheat my oven to about 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, hi, Strike. It's good to see you on the stream. Uh-huh.
This is the first time I'm having watching cooking stream. The first thing she shows is how to handle a knife. I love it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, the number, and that's not trying to sound arrogant or anything, because Yeah, the number of times I see cooking shows where they do not handle their knives properly, I'm just like, you're gonna cut your fingers off. Um, it's a pet peeve. Also, part of it too is it's also how you ruin your knives. I mean, another thing is keep a sharp knife because sharp knives cut through things. Dull knives cut through your fingers because they're more likely to slip on things. I mean, it's just take care of your knives and hold them properly, dang it. And let's see, Strike on Twitch says, I need to consult with you at some point. Apparently hand pies are a thing I describe well and will need to make. For those on Reddit, Strike Red Kite, he's also on Twitter, is the DM for the Sunday Brunch Club D&D stream on Chaotic Tiefling Productions. Really good friend of mine, fantastic Dungeon Master. Yes, this is a cooking show based on tabletop role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons as well as Pathfinder. So, yeah, he just wanted me to consult with him, which, hey, I'm down for it, especially once after I am fully vaccinated on Monday. I can actually start traveling again in a couple of weeks, months, something like that, and go back to Chicago. Still chopping rosemary here, because we're going to need about a quarter cup. So, just doing the thing while waiting for tea to steep. But yeah, for those just joining us on Reddit, you can also watch the multicam experience on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv at twitch.tv/thegluttonousgeek. So you can see the whole multi-camera experience and things. But yeah, we're actually on the third year of me doing this show. Yeah, I know I've got a very small audience. I'm working on it. I mean, when you're also working a full-time job and also doing a blog, because that's what The Gluttonous Geek actually is. It's my cooking blog where I make recipes inspired by various television shows, movies, books, video games, and whatnot. And that's about roughly about a quarter cup of chopped rosemary. We're just going to add that to the dried ingredients there. Give that a quick whisk with a fork because it takes up less room in my dishwasher than a whisk does. And yeah, let's see, the week before that, I also did a D&D Dungeons & Dragons themed recipe from Volo's Guide to the Sword Coast, a source book that was published back in the mid-90s. It was for... Oh wait, no, that was the week before that. No. 2 weeks ago, I made Mushroom King Stir Fry from Dragon Stew, which is a food-inspired Dungeons & Dragons supplement by artist Antonio D'Amico. He's an excellent artist, excellent writer. I highly recommend. In fact, at some point, I'm going to be running the one of the Dragon Stew's RPG campaign, not campaigns, stories on the Twitch channel at some point. Once I actually learn how to DM, I'm going to be using my current Dungeons & Dragons group as a guinea pig group for that. It's like, be patient with me. I have been playing for years, but I've never DM'd. Alright, so that is our dry mix for now. Let's see, we've got 9 minutes left on our timer. That's okay though, because I gotta start making the wet mix for this, and unfortunately with Reddit I'm gonna have to kind of go back here unless my husband wants to move the whole camera setup, which, hey, you're entirely welcome to. I mean, we've got enough charge in the battery, so why don't you go ahead and do that. We're just gonna move cameras here to my stand mixer where I've got about a cup of unsalted butter ready and waiting to go for when I start creaming the crap out of it. So, you're going to want 2 sticks of butter, i.e. a cup, i.e. half a pound of unsalted butter. Get that in there. About room temperature. It's been sitting out for about an hour, so it should be ready to go. Next up, you're going to want to actually look at your instructions that you wrote earlier this day. Actually, already yesterday. Anyway, I'm going to need to add to that how much sugar? 1 1/3 cup of sugar. Just gotta find my 1/3 cup measurement. So, just gonna pop that up. Oh, it's not quite as room temperature as I'd like, but you know, we'll make do with it. So, gonna need about 4 of these. It's 1 1/3 cup, so 1, 2, 3, yeah. 4. Do I add the honey yet? I'm trying to remember. Derpa 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 der. Derpity derpity derp 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 derp. No, I don't need the honey quite yet because I just need to start creaming this stuff. And get a spatula out too for the inevitable point where I need to scrape the sides of the bowl. All right. See, Strike says he's got his first vaccine dose coming up this Saturday. Congratulations, dude. I've got my second coming up on Monday, so that means T-minus 2.5 weeks till I can hug people who are also vaccinated. Yay! All right, how are we doing? Is that butter cam? Pretty much. Yep. Butter cam. And I just kind of want to have the mixer beat it, because technically I'm not beating it, giggity, until it is fluffy. That's pretty fluffy to me. So let's go ahead and scrape down the sides. Get down off my beater. Yeah. Alrighty. I am a delicate freaking flower. Alright, now just gotta add the honey to that, and you're gonna be adding about 1/4 cup of honey, which that is a different measuring cup. Yes, I'm using the same one I used for the rosemary. It's still clean, dang it. Besides, it's gonna bake. So a big thing when you're measuring out various sticky ingredients, such as honey, feel free to add your giggity messages and whatnot in the interim there. It's good to usually spray the inside of your measuring cup with cooking spray. That way it doesn't stick to it. So you're going to need about 1/4 cup of honey in there. I already measured out all the honey I need for today's recipe, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that in there. See how that mostly just comes right out there? There's a little bit of some sticking to the sides, but that's okay. Get in there, dang it. Okay. Now, do I need you, measuring cup? That's right, I still need it, so I'm just gonna stick that there for now, and let that, just flung a piece of butter onto, it's still good, there you go. Okay, alrighty, so Strike says, oh wow, he has to drive 4 hours round trip for his first dose of the vaccine, that sucks. Alright, so, this is where the whole pumpkin aspect of my pumpkin honey bread is concerned. We got some canned pumpkin here. There we go. Canned pumpkin. Trying to angle it for like 2 different cameras here. Yeah, we're basically going to be using canned pumpkin as our egg component in this bread. That way you get the pumpkin flavor as well as the whole binding sort of stuff. with it. Yes, I know, I'm so eloquent. Derpa 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 der. You need 1 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree. Just kind of seeing bee vomit. Yep. Honey is in fact bee vomit. And the crazy thing about bee vomit, it also never spoils. So, see, Strike says I can plan a fall visit to Atlanta. Yay! I get to see my friends, and I don't have to travel anywhere. I can just stay at home like I've been doing for the past year. Yay! Alright, so, I'm sorry, Reddit, that you're not being able to see all the commentary and everything. If you want to see the multi-cam experience, go ahead and follow me on Twitch. It's just, this is my first time streaming on Reddit Live. And because of that, I still haven't really figured out how to, or if I can even, do multi-platform streaming for Reddit using Streamlabs, because that's what I've been using for the past 3 years. I mean, I know I can use a standard OBS client, but that would also require me to create entirely new scenes. So you're missing this whole beautiful footage of me using my terribly broken can opener to try to open this can of pureed pumpkin, which I should have done, admittedly, before the stream. So,
tell us what you're making.
Okay, so today I am, well, just to kind of give you a heads up, if you just joined the stream and have never seen the stream before, which I guess you haven't, my cooking show is basically where I make recipes inspired by various tabletop role-playing games, such as Dungeons & Dragons, as well as Pathfinder, Shadowrun, and all that. And today's recipe is from Pathfinder's Realm of the Fell Knight Queen module for a honeyed pumpkin bread. Now, I know that kind of sounds more like just a standard dessert bread. And let me just go ahead and get that mixing. However, I decided to go more for a cake route, because when I think of honeyed pumpkin bread, I'm thinking more of a stupidly syrupy sweet concoction. Well, confection, technically. Alright, how many of those things did I put in? I think I've only put 2. I hope I only put 2. I've already lost track. This is what happens when I talk while streaming. Thing is, coworker of mine, like years and years ago, made this rum and sugar rum syrup soaked cake, and would bring it in every single time there was an occasion at the office. And so I wanted to do something similar to that for the whole kind of soaked aspect of it. So instead of rum, because it's not really a rum town that I'm basing this recipe off of, I'm making chamomile tea and making a syrup with honey and sugar for it to get kind of the foresty flavor in there. And let's see, I hope that was 2. I really hope that was 2. Anyone paying attention? Alright, so that was probably... We shall see. Okay, so... I need technically 5 of these. So here's number 3. Where's that 4? We will see how much I have left over, because there's about... let's see, 3.5 times... 4? There'll be about about a cup and a quarter left in here. Anyway. Damn ADD! Oh, okay, what was I doing?
Someone says they saw 3.
3, okay, so that was 4 before I put another one in there? Did I just have 4 in there? Yes. So there was only 4. Only 3.
Electron Myth says I saw 3.
Okay, so this should be 4, and after that 5. So 4. And 5. All right. Do I still need you? I might. I'll just stick that to the side for now. Let that stir in. And then scrape down the sides. Considering I'm seeing a lot of butter and sugar on the sides here, I'm just going to let that mix up a little bit more before we go on to the next part. Okay, so, Babe, you can move the camera back for the Reddit folks. And hopefully I won't burn you with this. In the meantime... Okay, I know this is for a very short part of the process, but we've already gone ahead and steeped our tea and cranberries. So, just gonna take this sucker out and go ahead and toss that. Oh boy. Alright, and take a slotted spoon to get all of those dried cranberries out of the tea. And that should have soaked up enough liquid to reduce this, so all I have to do then is melt the sugar and honey in it for the syrup that we're going to soak this whole bread in once it's, well, bread slash cake, you get it, after we are done with that. So, there's one left. I'm just gonna, get out of there. Okay. Just gonna move that. Wait. I need this. This can go live over here for now. There we go. Alrighty. So, got our dry mix here that you saw earlier. I'm not sure if you're able to see it, what I'm doing. But, anyway, those, the dried fruit that we made up earlier, we're just gonna kind of scatter that into our flour mix. And toss it to coat. And this, in theory, keeps our cranberries from sinking to the bottom of our loaf pan. Which, I just remembered, I have a loaf pan that I need to prepare. That is where my brain is right now. So, scattered more, toss a bit more. Like I said, this is in theory. And for those just joining us, I've got a mixture of nutmeg and chopped fresh rosemary in our flour mix here. And once again, whisking with a fork because it takes up less room in my dishwasher. There we go. And for those who want to have that whole multi-camera experience on the show, you can go to my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/thegluttonousgeek. Or if you just want to check out my website in general, go to thegluttonousgeek.com. I just released a recipe from, what was it? Oh yes, Dragonlance for Otik's spiced potatoes. from Dragonlance series in the Inn of the Last Home. Right, so a pan that I need to prepare. Now normally I would use baking spray, but it turns out I forgot that I didn't have any left, so we're just gonna go with the good old other lazy way of preparing a pan with some cooking spray. Try not to breathe it in. And a wee bit of flour, which I don't have any of in this currently. Babe, I love you. Here, I just a wee bit of flour, just a spoonful. I love you. Okay. The advantage of streaming with one spouse nearby. Right, I don't need you. You can... Alright, I still have pumpkin stuff left. Well, I'll figure out something for it. Alrighty. Bam-biddy-bam-biddy-bam. Bam-biddy-bam. I was gonna do things with things. I'm just trying to remember what I was doing now. Yay, undiagnosed ADHD! Thank you, my love. Alright. So, just a wee bit of flour. That's not a wee bit, that's a chunk. And we're just gonna shake my whole body, apparently, and trying to... That is way much more flour than I was expecting. I'm sure that there's a more sophisticated way of doing this, but apparently I'm too lazy to do it. Alrighty. Is it perfect? Not really. Eh. Yeah. Well, it's gonna have fingerprint marks on there. That's just how it's gonna be. Alrighty. There we go. Alright. Now, if my so helpful spouse will move the Twitch cam, not the Twitch cam, the phone cam again. We are going back to the stand mixer. Okay. So, I do realize I was going to use a quarter cup, but you know what? Screw it. We'll just use the fork I was using earlier. So now, we're just going to gradually add this in. And realize I forgot to switch the cam on Twitch. By the way, I also will have this archived episode not only on Twitch, because I do highlight after full highlight after every episode. I also upload the episode to YouTube. Okay. Just gonna scrape down this. Oh, sorry about that. Scrape down the side some, as well as the top of the paddle attachment here. Alrighty. Get that back to stirring. And meantime, I'm hoping I'm not blocking either camera. I'm just going to check the chat real quick on both. So, oh, thanks, love. Yeah, this is my first time streaming on Reddit, so admittedly, I'm still figuring this out. Yes, this is a little bit of an experiment, especially since doesn't look like Streamlabs has a multi-platform stream function with Reddit. It only seems to be for Facebook and Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So I might have to switch my OBS client to be able to multi-platform for everything. But that also requires me to make new scenes, which, considering that my scenes right now are kind of minimal, that will be coming soon. It's just one of those cases where my husband was like, hey, I wonder if we can do this, about an hour and a half before I was scheduled to start streaming. So this is new for all of us. I thank you for your patience so much, guys. Let's see, we just got a little bit left on that flour before we can switch again. Yeah, that is if I don't happen to get the batter all over my stovetop. And then last bit. Okay, that's about as much patience as I have for it. So I think just gotta scrape this down. And let it stir just a little bit more. I think that's good. And that means we can go ahead and get this in the pan and get it baking. So, just pop this off. Oh, where are you? Come on. All right, my love. I will need your help again. I need you to move the camera again. All right. So, we are back with a crap ton of batter. So I just gotta scrape this thing here. And make sure all my cameras are lined up. I'll figure it out in a second once I get all this pumpkin batter off of me. Alrighty. Don't need you anymore. And there we go. Just gotta get this into here and make sure that it spreads in an even layer. I mean, I guess kind of what we're making is sort of a honey pumpkin pound cake with cranberries and rosemary. And once this is all baked and soaked and everything, I'm going to garnish it with more rosemary cranberries, and some pine nuts. I was going to do roasted pumpkin seeds, but I did not actually have the chance to go to the grocery store today, and I thought that I already had roasted pumpkin seeds in the pantry. I was wrong. So, just a wee bit more out of here. Spread it all out in an even layer. And, got some more in there. Come on. There we go. So I don't need that anymore. It's just going to go right in the sink. And I'll stick that in the oven, which I've preheated already to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And set a timer for about, let's go for about 45 minutes to start. Now ideally you'll bake it until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean, which can be between 45 minutes to about an hour. And you're thinking, well, what the heck are you going to do then for the next 45 minutes? Well, we're going to chat, and also we're going to make some dinner. So, for those of you on YouTube who are watching this video after the fact, it might be a good time to kind of skip ahead to when I actually start making the syrup, which, come to think of it, that's going to have to be about roughly about 10 minutes before the cake is finished baking. So I'm just going to go ahead and set a timer here for about 35 minutes. So that's when I can start making the syrup. So in the meantime, my husband is going to kind of show you what he's been making for the past, well, I want to say the past week. You see, my dad is killer with a meat smoker and made about 15 pounds of smoked brisket over this past weekend. And of course, like my family does, they have to always send a bit of the spoils home with us. I am so complaining. So he has been making croissant rolls baked with brisket and cheddar cheese inside. So I'm just gonna let him take the stage on that, as well as my microphone, while I clean up some things. So, my love. Yes, let me... Here you go.
Okay. So, here we have the lovely brisket made by my father-in-law. We got so much of this left over from Easter. We've just been finding things to do with it. To preface this, so we're Costco shoppers, and they've recently been having sales on Pillsbury crescent rolls. So yeah, I've been getting a box basically every time I go, because we just keep using them. They're quite versatile, a lot of fun to work with. You know, we rarely just do the standard, you know, roll them up as crescent rolls and bake them. A lot of times I've done them with just stuffing them with cheese. I've done sauteed mushrooms in them. I have done them with brisket before. We've done dessert ones where it's a slice of apple in each little triangle. Put that into the big baking dish and then cover it with, I think we covered it with like cinnamon and a bunch of spices and sugar and stuff, and then root beer. So makes for a great, versatile addition if you want to do anything kind of pastry related. So, we're going to start off here. I'm just going to take a selection, a couple slices of this brisket, and we're going to microwave those. You know, they're basically falling apart, but I like to give them a little bit of a, preheat, so it's not only relying on the heat of the oven. And that timer is stuck there. That's another timer. All right. We're just gonna give that a bit of a heat up, and I'm gonna grab this piece of parchment paper I had set aside. So previously we have done little individual crescent rolls, but we're going to try something a little different today. Today I'm just doing a big cheese and brisket pastry log. So excuse the noise as I bang this and try to bang this on the edge of the counter and try to get our crescent rolls to open up here. The whole thing of like, ooh, press a spoon into this line on the crescent rolls. No, just whack it on the edge of the counter. All right. My wife has pulled out the brisket that has kind of preheated for us. So, honey, what do you think here? Should we do one just full roll, or divide it along the line and do 2 rolls?
2 could be good.
Let's do 2 rolls. Yeah, that was kind of what I was feeling. This is perforated already. It's got its little lines of triangles to make it into its crescents. We're gonna ignore the triangles and just go for some nice big pastry squares. All right, there is our first big pastry square, and we are taking just some cheddar cheese slices. We're going to rip those up a bit just so we can spread them out. I also am realizing I am low on cheddar cheese. We're going to finish off our box here. We get 2 slices of cheddar cheese per roll. But with the proper spacing, that's going to work out quite nicely. And we're just going to get a nice good spread on that. Then we're going to take our brisket that we've heated up, and look at this. It falls apart. That is the sign of a good brisket, that it can just fall to pieces. So we are trying to get this into just tiny little bits and chunks, just shred it up, really. Similar to, a pulled pork or something, but we've got a beef brisket here in nice tiny shreds. Yes. Okay, she's gone out of the kitchen. Down around our feet, we have one of our cats. She is 21, 22 years old, somewhere around there, which in cat years means she's like 100 years old, literally. Yes, she is right behind me, and she is deaf, but she has a very good sense of smell for any time we've got anything tasty out and about. So, in the past, I've done these crescent rolls, doing the individual triangles, where we do a little, we fold the cheese in half diagonally, and it's one triangle per, or one triangle of cheese per triangle of dough, and just a scoop of brisket. This time, we're trying a roll here. So we're gonna load up kind of the first 3/4 of this this sheet with our brisket, and just start rolling that over. Yes, Ginger definitely smells brisket, and she is, she's just a little beggar. She is so adorable and loving, and she just wants to be, a part of your world, especially if your world involves food. Hi. Mwah. All right. So, again, this is an experiment. I've never done these in just log form. I've always broken them up as more individual serving pieces. So let's see how this goes. Got our last few pieces of cheddar here. And you know what? And I pulled out some extra cheese and was going to sprinkle that on. And yeah, I totally forgot. So this second roll is going to have some extra cheese on it. We'll actually get that in place, get that going. But we're going to put that, we're going to add our brisket and then do a sprinkle of cheese over the top of it afterwards. And moving things up. You want to leave a little bit kind of at the end of more untouched pastry, just so it kind of glues itself together back onto the other pastry. Just scrape the rest of the brisket in, and spread that out here on our roll. Honey, would you get me a small glass dish? And before we roll that up, nope, we're good. I'm also just getting 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to put that into a small glass dish and start melting that in the microwave. We're just going to start that. Good. We're going to add a sprinkle.
Microwaving butter, you usually want it to be about 12-second increments. Otherwise, the water particles in the butter will heat up faster than the fat, and therefore your butter will explode. So usually it helps to kind of go a little bit slower. Like I said, 12 seconds at a time. Allows those water particles to kind of calm down a little bit, so keep exploding.
All right.
Might want to move that baking tray.
Yep. We definitely will. So we're rolling this this other one up. We've added the extra cheese in there on top of the brisket. So now we've got 2 lovely logs, and we have
a little bit of butter left.
Melted and partially exploded butter. I was using the soften function. All right, so our butter has exploded. I am actually going to need more butter than that, so I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of butter and stick with the soften function on the microwave. And
here I am acting all know-it-all and everything.
uh-huh. Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh gosh.
There's drips there. Yeah, yeah. A little bit of dripping butter in the microwave. All right. Everybody makes mistakes. All right. We use the soften function which is on a lower setting.
There isn't one. Or at least I don't know one off the top of my head.
We give that soften for 15 seconds. All right. Oh, thank you, Reddit. Yep. All right. I'm just gonna do a nice sprinkle of garlic powder into our partially melted butter. Whip that up, and we just give that a nice garlic butter wash over these brisket cheese logs. I guess that's basically all we can call this. These are brisket cheese logs. Give me a moment.
Okay.
Let me finish with the butter.
Okay.
And
Might want to get a little space between that.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're just gonna.
Want me to get your spatula?
Yeah, it's all right. Just
Okay.
get some buttery fingers, buttery logs, buttery fingers to spread those apart. Okay, and those are ready to go into the oven once our bread is done. Or we might do it while the bread is going. They do require different temperatures. The crescent rolls require a higher temp, but we're in experiment mode, so maybe we'll just stick them in now and give them a little longer at the lower temp. Yep. Alright, get my buttery fingers cleaned off, and then let me do one final thing here. I'm just keep things a little neater and save some space in the oven. Make it easier. I'm just trimming the sides of the parchment paper. Since this is going to go in. All right. And on to you, and you can.
Alright, mic. I've got a mic. I've got a mic. I've got a mic. I've got a mic. Hey, hey, hey. Alright, so I should probably go ahead and switch my camera around. This one right here and hope that it's pointing in the correct direction. Right, for those on Twitch, they can see that I have a mic pointing at, the camera pointing at my oven. I'm just gonna go ahead and stick this cheese brisket roll thing into the oven with my pumpkin bread, which is definitely solidifying. Just get a quick rinse to that, because I don't need it anymore. Oh, nah, I'll hold on to the pastry brush. Just give that a good rinse so we don't get garlic on our pumpkin bread when it's finished. Because I'm just going to use this to kind of help spread the syrup onto the pumpkin bread itself once it's done baking. So I'm just going to stick that there for now. Alrighty, so what do we have left? Well, we've got about 17 minutes before I need to start making said syrup. But in the meantime, I could definitely use a drink, especially after the fun comments about garbanzo beans on the Reddit stream right now. Exploding butter. Oh, the butter explosion stuff's on there too? Or, well, then after the butter explosion. So, right, a cup. What kind of mixers do we have? Okay. Let's see. Do we have whiskey, gin? No gin. Okay. All right. Let's whiskey, vodka, rum. We've got terrible pink lemonade. Gosh, what else do we have? Before I accidentally kick my cat. Let's see, cheap white wine. Oh, got soju, absinthe, vermouth, lemon juice. Maybe I just go simple and have some terrible pink lemonade. Yay, terrible pink lemonade. With, let's see, gotta get some ice. Maybe a wee bit, whiskey. Derp. Oh, it's already here. Bitters, maybe let's go with, actual lemon juice for one. And, maybe a wee touch. Ooh, I've got some orange bitters. Actually, some of that, come to think of it, some of that lychee sochu could be really tasty too with that. So, yes. And I know this is not exactly the most elegant sort of thing. I just kind of eyeball my drinks, so let's just get about a good pour of whiskey. A wee bit of lychee sochu. Just a touch of lemon juice. And a bit of orange bitters. Add my terrible, cheap pink lemonade that's been in the pantry for God knows how long. Impromptu swizzle stick, i.e. metal chopstick. Give that a quick stir. Actually, gotta ignite the aromatic oils from this rosemary branch on there. And finally, where the hell did my kosher salt go? Ah, here we are. I need to refill that. Wee pinch of kosher salt to finish. Cheers. Well, that's good. Or, you know, how to make your terrible pink lemonade taste better. And boozier. Wanna try, babe? There you go.
That is good. The rosemary.
Yeah, I should have cut more rosemary. It's not quite dark out yet. You want to cut another sprig? Because I still need this for the garnish. Yeah, I'll make you a drink too. That's excellent. Just gonna check the Reddit comments. Nothing new. That's fine with me. Alright, let's see. We are down to... still got another 7 minutes before I need to start making that syrup. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm just gonna go ahead and set apart what I need, which is, let's see, about 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, i.e. a 1/4 cup. Just gonna need that for the syrup here. Just stick this right back in the fridge. Trust me, it will get used. Yeah? Oh, that sucks. It's still streaming?
It's back to the beginning.
Huh.
I don't know what's going on there.
Weird. Well, we're still streaming here on Twitch, so cheers to that. We're not. Alright, so now we've got some more rosemary. Let me go ahead and make you a drink, my love. So, just fill that with some ice for me, and I need the pink lemonade, lemon juice, and orange bitters. Oh, you want a fancy glass? Okay. Let's go fancy. Which fancy glass? This one? Okay. Fancy glass. Okay. Fancy glass. Fancy golden snitch ice cube. Except it's not golden, which is probably for the best. I do not like my ice cubes golden. Unless they are in fact made of lemonade, and I don't mean the euphemism of lemonade either. So. Oh yeah, I love these things because it manages to keep the whole thing stable as it's freezing. And there's also a little bit of a catch there to get any kind of excess water on it. So, alrighty. Hopefully I didn't accidentally stop the stream by making commentary on the commentary. Alright, got a touch of whiskey. Bit of lychee soju. I'm gonna have to get this stuff again. It's actually left over from one of our parties, and if you're actually no, I need lemon juice and the orange bitters. So let me just grab those. No, we were not having a party during lockdown. Oh, they're right up here. It's a very old bottle. That's the thing with liquor. You have the leftovers from parties, and they sometimes just kind of stay there. It's liquor. It doesn't go bad. I mean, considering that we've got bottles of liquor from my husband's grandparents when they used to live in this house, and, it still tastes just fine. Okay. Give that a wee stir. And I'm not going to worry so much about the drink having gone watered down on you because... Okay. Husband tripped over something, not really sure what. So, got my lighter here. Just gonna slightly singe the aromatic oils into the drink here. Stick that in there. And finish off with a wee pinch of kosher salt. Your fancy drink is ready, my love. You're very welcome. Alright, we are 3 minutes away until syrup time. Cheers to that. Because my husband's still trying to figure out what's going on with Reddit. Oh wow, okay. Reddit Live is weird. That's the thing I'm learning, but at least we've got more people watching. I'm okay with that. I'm looking forward to when Streamlabs finally pairs up with Reddit Live as multi-platform option. Because that way this would be a lot easier than trying to run 2 different OBS clients at once. I mean, that would be absolute hell on my laptop, so I don't really want to have to deal with that. Yes, I am running my cell phone and my laptop separately. That is why we don't have the whole multicam experience here on Reddit. So, I thank you for your patience, every one of you. And you, and you get it. So, I'm just going to go ahead and start that syrup by going down here. This is the chamomile tea that I had brewed up earlier. That is going to be the base liquid for our syrup. We already steeped the tea. We already steeped the cranberries in the tea. So now it's just a matter of making our syrup. So, that, all my instructions I left over here. So, derp. Let's see here. Just want to go ahead and get the heat back on that. About a medium heat. And to that, you're going to be adding a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and your remaining 1/4 cup of honey. Slowly, but surely. Who the heck is Shirley? I have no idea. Alright. We might need a spatula for that. Yep, I'm gonna need a spatula. As I drip honey onto everything. There we go. Spatula. Here we are. Yeah, honey does not spoil, but it certainly crystallizes, which is kind of the issue we had before the stream. To reheat the honey to reconstitute it. So, just gonna hit that. Yes.
Unlikely row 4737 has asked that I'm getting a frog. Does anyone have any name suggestions?
Puddles. Okay. Or Grogu. So, yes, I am kind of evil. All right. Derp. Okay. Just waiting for that. Babe, you can bring over the camera. Yeah.
Significant sad has said, name it after Shrek's father-in-law, who turned into...
Oh god, I can't even remember what that was. Yeah. Alright, I know I said that I wasn't using a whisk because it takes up more room in my dishwasher. Well, I don't have all that much in my dishwasher right now, so... Yes. There we go. I just gotta keep stirring this, really, until all that sugar melts and dissolves. So.
Farce says, hey, are you single?
Nope. I am married. So. Are you switching the camera around?
Actually, I should.
No.
No, hang on.
But no, I am very flattered. But as of this year, as of this November, we will have been married for about 7 years. Cheers to that. As I get a rosemary sprig into my face. So, see any comments to that? Nope. It is. It's Reddit. Yes, at least it's not 4chan. enough to remember 4chan. I'd rather not remember 4chan. Though, except with some exceptions. I will... Let's see here. My on Twitch, Strike Red Kite says, and here I wondered if someone was getting fresh on Twitch. I can't ban Redditors. Yeah, my D&D game DM is also my moderator here on Twitch. Alright, looks like we have everything melted down. Like I said, until we manage to get multi-platform streaming with Streamlabs on Reddit as well, I'm kind of at the mercy of... This is a weird experiment. This is the first time I've ever streamed on Reddit Live, so yeah, we're working on it. Definitely working on it. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty darn dissolved, so I'm going to go ahead and add that 1/4 cup of butter and reduce the heat to low. And just kind of keep moving that pan to melt the butter evenly. I'm just going to go ahead and switch angles here, just so I'm still on camera here on Twitch. By the way, for those who actually want to see the whole multi-camera experience of the Gluttonous Geek presents Munchies and Minis, my Twitch handle is the Gluttonous Geek. That is all one word. I also have a website and a nerdy food blog called thegluttonousgeek.com. I make recipes inspired by various tabletop role-playing games, movies, television shows, video games, novels, just whatever I feel like it. I've made recipes based off of podcasts and web series as well, so that's the thing. So yeah. Today, what I actually stream, though, Munchies and Minis, is my tabletop role-playing game-inspired recipes. Today's recipe is, in fact, from the Pathfinder role-playing game, from the first edition module, Realm of the Fell Night Queen. There's kind of this whole dessert auction. Like, you're basically attending a gnome's wedding, and there is a dessert auction, very much like the lunchbox auction in the musical Oklahoma. Alright, so that is melted, all nice and pretty. I believe that is not going to break on me. So, now that that's all melted and looking lovely, I'm just going to turn off the heat and add a lid to keep that glaze all nice and warm until it is time to soak our cake in it. Cake, pumpkin bread, you get it. And here I'm hoping I am putting this at the right thing here. Yes. Okay. Alrighty. Still waiting. 8 minutes on that cake. Yay! We should probably check on that croissant roll. Let me switch the camera up. There we are. And oh, the brisket roll's looking pretty good. What do you think?
Pretty good. Need a little more brownie.
Definitely. So we'll just let that keep going. And and my cat is wandering around. Oh, by the way, babe, your drink is right here. I'm not sure how much is watered down though, so. Scusi? Danke.
Rosemary and lychee.
Lychee?
Go well together.
Oh yeah, well, one of my favorite loose leaf teas has jasmine and lychee in it. It's actually, let me go ahead and just pull that out since we are still waiting on stuff to bake. There is a company called Tea and Absinthe. They're at a lot of various role-playing various geek conventions like Dragon Con, various steampunk conventions. I don't think they're at Gen Con, though. I don't think they are. However, one of my favorite teas is based off the Hogwarts Ravenclaw house. It's not named that anymore, but they still sell it on their website. It's got a mix of Ceylon, mallow petals, jasmine petals, and lychee pieces, and it is one of my favorite loose leaf teas. They have a bunch of other loose leaf teas. It's called Hufflepuff, is kind of a bunch of dried fruit and cinnamon. Oddly enough, this stuff is actually really great for digestive issues. If you happen to have a hangover, this stuff's fantastic. And Slytherin is a mix of China gunpowder green tea and peppermint. Very, very good for reading. And another tea company I highly recommend, Dryad Tea Company. They do a ton of various geeky teas. They've done a Pokemon Go themed tea line just a couple of years ago. But if you happen to be a Dresden Files fan, like urban fantasy, the Dresden Files is kind of a noir magic sort of stuff. I mean, I enjoy the books, even though the first three, well, what am I kidding? The main character is kind of sexist as hell. He's problematic, but he learns. She has a series of Dresden Files themed teas, and I just got one in the mail for Winter Night, which is, oh gosh, where'd it go? Oh, you put it away? Yeah, I'm gonna check the oven just real quick here. Yeah, that Winter Night is okay. Has black tea, assam, lapsang, strawberry pieces, cornflowers, heather, rose petals, papaya, blackberry leaves, calendula, and natural flavors. Her Dresden tea is a lapsang souchong tea, which is a smoked tea, so nice and smoky, that also has catnip in it. One of my favorite teas, but this Winter Night's supposed to be kind of a winter take on Dresden. And that smells excellent, kind of fruity and smoky at the same time. I kind of want to use this in a steak rub, or maybe some smoked brisket or something could be really good. Mhm. Oh yeah. And goodness, I think we've got about 4 minutes left. Let's check that roll again. It's
looking good.
Yeah. Yeah, though it looks like the pumpkin bread might need a little bit longer, but I'll find out in a minute with the toothpick. Once I find where the toothpicks went. Here we go. Yeah, other stuff's going on. Anything from Reddit, by the way?
Nothing since Running Farce asked if you were single.
Oh. Well, that's sweet. Yay, I have viewers. I'm happy. I've got more rosemary. I'm going to use that for garnish. I've got pine nuts. I'm going to use that for garnish. I've got my plate. I'm not going to use that for garnish. I'm going to use that for serving. So I also have to wait for that to cool some. Just kind of prep in general. Maybe we can do kind of You need to prep and freeze. I don't really have much anything other than a lot of old apples. So clearly, I need to go grocery shopping soon. Yeah. Normally I would launch into kind of food prep, though I've got all of those baked apples that I based off Kushiel's Dart. I can... Let's see, I'd watch on Reddit too, but I don't have an account. No worries, Strike. Admittedly, yeah. My husband just said it. We're trying to kind of get more Reddit folks over to Twitch, but I also know Reddit is kind of its own thing. So like I said, if Streamlabs had a partnership with, I mean, I'm probably just gonna have to get a new OBS, the standard OBS, and just multi-platform stream from there. We'll do a little bit of testing. Like I said, this is the first time I've done Reddit in addition, and it was Carter said about an hour and a half before the stream, saying that let's try Reddit Live, and I'm just going, I don't know how to do that without messing up things. So thank you for your patience, everybody. Mm.
Unfortunately, the Reddit Live is just from home.
Yep.
Hoping to move some more multi-platform stuff to
Yeah.
simulcast on Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, and Facebook Live.
Yeah.
All at the same time, basically reaching out
To as many followers as possible, since Twitch has been a little bit slow. And I mean, admittedly, that's also because 7 p.m. on Eastern time is a very popular time. So, yes. Okay, so I'm just going to switch back to my stove cam and find where the heck I put that toothpick. It went somewhere. Oh no, I've got a new toothpick. And let's see here. Yep. Oh, that's still looking pretty darn liquidy. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's probably gonna need another 15 minutes. This stuff, however, this can come out pretty darn good. Yes, so let's stick that in for another, I think it's gonna need that extra 15 minutes, to be quite honest with you. So why don't we go ahead at our dinner. Yeah. Yes, the brisket logs. Let me just... It's cool, but I'm cooling it here. So there we go. That's looking pretty darn fantastic. I cannot wait to eat that, considering we have not had dinner yet. And it's kind of funny how the crescent roll perforations kind of act as sort of steam holes for, like, to release the steam from the fillings.
Honestly, when I did just the cheese and brisket crescent rolls, rolling them up and doing individual little crescent pastries was honestly the biggest pain. Doing them all as you know,
What you doing?
basically doing
What
two rolls
Oh, Squeaks.
instead of 8
Squeaks.
individual pieces.
Mm-hmm.
This was much easier,
Yeah.
much quicker to do it as just the two.
How are you,
So,
my
we'll
angel?
see how that translates.
This little one's sniffing around the floor like a piggy trying to find truffles. Yeah. For those just joining us, this is Ginger. She's our 21-year-old princess. And she is completely deaf, but can obviously still smell things. Isn't that right? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. She's like, I didn't sign up for this. This is bullshit. Isn't that right? Yeah, it's my baby girl.
As far as
Tappa
we're
tappa tappa
concerned,
tappa tappa tappa
our
tappa.
cat has
Tappa, tappa, tappa.
catchphrases, and her catchphrase is, "This is bullshit."
Yeah. What the? Hi, Oki C. I guess you accidentally posted a link up there. Hey, Strike, can you go ahead? It looks like Oki C accidentally posted a link to the chat. Why don't you go? If you can go ahead and take that out of there for me, that'd be great. There we go. All right, baby girl. Yeah, he's a good girl. Oh man, That looks really good, and I'm so hungry. Oh gosh. Anyways, do you know who Gargamel is? Yes, I do know who Gargamel is. He wanted to eat Smurfs. And I'm sure there's some kind of wrong comment there. Oh. Hi, Schrodinger. How are you? My other one of my other cats is looking at the door, going, "What? Why is this closed? I had a circle that I usually take around here." Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
That is what you want, Reddit.
Oh gosh.
You want cats.
Yes.
Cats is internets.
Oh gosh. Strike is all. Oh my gosh. My This looks excellent. Yes, it does. Switch it to the prep cam here. Alrighty. Kind of give an idea of what that looks like. That looks fantastic. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And super hot still, like that. That's kind of napalm in your mouth a bit. We can wait. So, check it on the bread. Yeah. Just gonna. Go ahead and divvy this up. What am I kidding? We're gonna eat all of this tonight, more than likely.
Well, to be fair, when we've done it in similar amounts as the individual crescents, we've eaten them all.
Yep.
However, I'll point this out.
This is 2 crescent rolls worth, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you do it as the triangles, you get 8 pieces. But if you do it as 2 logs,
there we are.
You cut it into as many pieces as you like. And right now we're looking at 10 pieces.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Okay,
It's technically the same amount of food, but you can divide it up better in log form than you can in the triangle crescent form.
Yep. Okay. Neuron Comic just found out about him today. Wow. Oh man. Yeah, I feel old now. Because we watched this. I used to watch Smurfs on TV. The one female character, who technically who wasn't technically a Smurf, or she wasn't born as a Smurf. Like she was created by Yes, created by Gargamel to distract the Smurfs. Because that's how it works, right? Let's see. Introduce the whole concept of another gender to them. Okay. Oh gosh. Yeah, she was created by Gargamel to be a distraction, thus the blonde hair. Yep.
To be fair, I just watched the new movie, Chaos Walking. It's Spider-Man and Rey from Star Wars. And yeah, it's an all-male population, and a girl shows up, and she is very distracting.
Yep.
It's a weird sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Watch it on your own.
I'm so glad we didn't pay money for that. But also, I mentioned Dryad Tea earlier. She also makes handmade pottery, like this tree cup here. For this particular case, it's a Grave Cleric tree cup, which I'm going to use it for something for the blog. I mean, I need to ask whether or not this is microwave safe, because I'm thinking a mug cake would look really cool in this. mushroom mug cake or something. And also my Princess General Hero mug was made by her as well. Oh, also, if you're a huge tabletop fan, she makes these D20 trivets, tea trivets, like so. Yeah, they're super cool. So, no, I don't have a sponsorship. It's just I like to plug my friends sometimes. However, speaking of sponsorships, soon, if for those who have heard of Viking Alchemist Meadery, and for if you haven't heard of them, they are a local to Georgia meadery. They make honey wine here in Georgia, and they asked me to partner up with them for a recipe at some point soon. I was thinking I would do kind of a play on Norse mythology with the goddess Idun for the golden apples by first poaching some golden apples in mead, in their mead, and then reducing that poaching liquid with even more honey and sugar and butter, and making a toffee to do basically mead toffee coated mead poached apples. I need to do some tests on it, especially finding an apple that will hold up to that particular long amount of cooking, especially because, I mean, by poaching it, you're already making the apple pretty darn soft, but then you're coating it with a hard shell with the toffee, so we'll see how that works out. I'm going to test it out with some cheap mead first. But yeah, Viking Alchemist, amazing mead flavors. Like, they've got a pear and almond mead. That tastes amazing. They have a cherry mead called Skull. Another one of my favorites is their peach mead. And they also, I just finished the mead we had in our growler. They have a maple syrup mead. And they also have a coffee mead, which doesn't really, like, a lot of times when you have a coffee-based wine or liqueur, it's just kind of smack you in the face with espresso. This stuff is very balanced, and especially goes well with the maple syrup mead, too. In fact, it kind of tastes like a pancake breakfast in that particular sense. Okay, so let's see here. We got about 5 minutes left on that. I'm going to check it with a toothpick or see if I need to. It's actually kind of easy to tell whether or not it needs to be checked. It needs to be removed. Yeah, that's still pretty darn liquidy. I mean, it's coming out clean. So maybe it just needs to cool, but I don't know, it's still a little soupy towards the center, so I'm gonna let it go for that remaining 4 minutes, just to be safe. So... I'm gonna have to write that recipe down. Yeah, I'm starving. Probably cool death now. Oh yeah. That's fantastic. I love Millennial Napkin. Kind of pinwheel.
Yeah, it creates a bit of a pinwheel form, but it also allows you to kind of choose your serving size. A nice.
This is probably more of a stromboli than a.
Yeah, a nice thin slice is fine. It's a case of you can make it into 10, 12, or more servings instead of just the standard 8. With the every crescent roll tube is 8 rolls. If you're running a party or something like that, do it in the log form. Get you more pieces, more servings.
The brisket turned out really well in that.
Yes.
So, at some point soon, I'm going to be doing a smoked brisket recipe inspired by the Percy Jackson series, because If you ever read the series, it's kind of like Greek mythology meets modern times. The children of the gods are all at this summer camp called Camp Half-Blood. And the thing is, to raise money for the camp, they also grow strawberries. So I was thinking maybe a brisket with kind of a first coated in strawberry jam and then garlic and fennel and just a bunch of various herbs that are sacred to the gods, and then smoking it with a mix of I'm looking at, I mean, olive wood chips are a little bit more difficult to get than, say, hickory or mesquite, but I'm thinking like maybe a mix. Well, I'm thinking walnut would be good because walnuts are sacred to Artemis and Apollo. But walnut also has a very strong flavor to it, which I think will go well with the strawberry. But I know that oak is also sacred to Zeus, which would fit pretty well with Camp Half-Blood. So if I do a mixture of oak and walnut, that will also give it kind of vanilla flavor from the oak, as well as, goodness, the walnut would just kind of balance out that sweetness with its bitterness, I'm thinking. But the trouble with apple and beef is that it tends to kind of disappear when it comes to smoking beef. It's a very light smoke.
Apple is definitely better utilized in smoking.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to
Pork or chicken or fish even. Though apple is still sacred to Aphrodite. However, the combination of walnut and oak, I'm thinking that it's probably going to be lost. The apple's going to be lost and all of that. Let's see. Yes. Oven mitt. Toothpick. Yep. Let's give that another 5. Don't worry, guys, we'll get there soon. But yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna make, goodness, when we finally have some people over. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could also cut off take photos while waiting for the rest of it to, and just kind of tent the rest of it with foil, considering that, like I said earlier, my dad made about 15 pounds of smoked brisket, and that was probably one of the smaller briskets that he could find. That was to feed 6 people. Yeah.
To feed 6 people
on
Easter.
Mm-hmm.
And then have an equally divided leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 2-3 pounds of brisket as leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
It goes amazing in these pastry crust with a bit of cheese. Yeah.
Here I was thinking, oh, I'm only going to eat about half of this. No, I'm just eating the whole darn thing.
Actually, I think this is the best version.
Yeah.
Of these Pillsbury crescent roll.
To give you an idea, my dad also smokes pulled pork. So I think we still have pulled pork left over that you've been steadily using for these things. Yeah.
But I also had great success just doing sauteed mushrooms. No, literally no meat, just sauteed mushrooms, cheese, and Pillsbury crescent roll.
Yeah. Last week we did a king oyster mushroom stir fry, inspired by the Dragon Stew Dungeons & Dragons supplement by artist Antonio D'Amico, and we overbought the mushrooms. So he's been just kind of sautéing these king oyster mushrooms as we've been going, and they're super good. I mean, they hold up really well to sautéing and just have this really interesting flavor to them. Not nearly as, I want to say, meaty or flavorful as, say, shiitake mushrooms, but if you want something that holds up a little bit better to stir frying without just kind of disappearing or becoming slimy or anything like that, king oyster mushrooms are a pretty good option for that. They also soak in the flavor really well. And what's up?
So, I'll admit I don't understand what you're asking.
Okay.
NLC Caroline
Mm-hmm.
says, unlikely pro, could you name it Benedict Cumberbatch? And then it would make me so happy.
Unlikely row. Oh, the turtle.
Is it the turtle? If it's the
Yeah.
turtle named Benedict Cumberbatch, I fully support this name for the turtle.
Someone on Reddit asked earlier if, like, yeah, for a name for their turtle.
Not a turtle.
I'm
Sorry. Frog.
Frog.
Frog. Not
Stupid
turtle.
me. Yes, frog.
Okay. Yes. It was a frog.
Mm-hmm.
To which we said one Grogu and the other would be Puddles.
Mm-hmm.
Puddles is a good name for a turtle.
I think so.
But you know what? So is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah,
I have seen
I agree.
plenty of images where Benedict Cumberbatch looks very much like a turtle. Sorry, no, not a turtle.
Turtle, a frog.
A frog. Yes, my bad.
I know we're not drunk, but this is starting to... I'm starting to wonder. I'm starting to wonder. And I have work tomorrow, too. Alright, let's see. How's my syrup doing? Is it still... Oh, that's good. Awesome. Another toothpick. Yes, toothpick, your only purpose as a splinter from a tree is to pick stuff out of teeth, serve appetizers, and check the doneness of cakes and breads. Quick breads, i.e. cakes. Ah. Yeah, baking powder does that. Oh my gosh. That's still... It's good enough. That's still pretty soupy.
It's a little, it's...
5 more minutes.
Alright.
Ah.
We're gonna give it 5 more minutes. Go ahead and put some pork trivet sounds.
Okay.
When it does come out. It's still a little jiggly, like, despite the fact
I mean,
that...
it's gonna continue cooking when it's out of the oven.
Yeah.
But I still am gonna be inverting this too, and I don't want it to be too soupy.
Despite the fact that the toothpick is coming out clean, the entire thing itself is still moving. So.
Giggity. So. I know.
The brisket roll is good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if we weren't waiting on this, also if we had chocolate chips, we'd probably be making another batch of chocolate chip cookies. Also, if we had marshmallows, which I don't think we have, I would be making those cinnamon toasted Rice Krispie treats that we kind of came up with the other day. And people are just now watching me drink and eat a thing of crescent roll and brisket.
Honestly, it's working amazing as is. So
I apologize for those on Twitch, where you're basically listening to me chew this entire time. Oh my gosh, this is so good. One more piece, I promise.
that's the end of it. My plate is empty.
Mm-hmm.
You got the last of it.
Mm-hmm. It's tasty.
Also, so.
Mm.
I want to say it's so quick and easy and simple to do, but yeah, yes, that does require.
You know, you can get on screen because you're kind of. I'm just talking off camera this entire time.
I mean, I want to say it is so quick and easy and simple to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it does require having brisket. In this case, made by my father-in-law.
Yes.
However, what we've been learning over the past few weeks, because Pillsbury crescent rolls are on sale at Costco, is that they are very versatile.
Yep.
As far as, you know, carrying whatever flavors you want. I've done them rolled up with just cheese. I've done them with sauteed mushrooms. I've done them with brisket.
Giggity.
And then tonight I've done the logs rather than the individual crescent rolls.
Still so freaking.
And I honestly think that tonight's dish of the log format has been the best of the bunch. If you have any meat to put in this, that's great, but you can put sauteed vegetables or mushrooms or anything else. Just, you know.
Okay, so someone says that you kind of remind me of Ron Jeremy. Different day, same shy.
Wait, me?
Well, I hope it's you, because that's... yeah.
Like, even though I don't want it to be me, I'd rather it be me than you. Yeah, Reddit is kind of...
Gross.
Anyway.
Alright, and that's the one F-bomb we've got for the stream. Yep. That's about as much patience as I have. Alrighty.
Alright, and the honey pumpkin bread is out of the oven.
Yes, now... I'm just gonna pour about half of this. To let it kind of a tea honey glaze, which is now spilling everywhere. And we're just gonna let that soak in. And then clean the crap out of my countertop here. And then we're just gonna let that cool completely, which we're not gonna stream because that's gonna take a while, for one. And you've already seen me blather on for the past half an hour or so. But I'm just gonna go ahead and give you the instructions of what you need to do after it's done its thing. After... Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Like Gay Man 1891 asks, so when do you add the cat?
The cat?
I think, you know, the cats are part of absolutely everything we do. The essence of cat is sometimes included in every dish.
Yeah, no kidding. Oof. It'll be fine. Just gotta wait for this to cool down completely. It looks like it's a little... So the whole idea is that after this cools completely, you would be inverting it onto a serving plate, which I'm realizing I'm probably going to need a larger one at this. Once, like I said, it's cooled and soaked in completely. Then, after it's done so, you would be glazing the top of this with the remaining syrup, and then letting that soak in before garnishing it and serving it. So, like I said, we're not going to stream that. In fact, I would say that we're probably just about done, even though I see my husband signaling that we have a question from Reddit. What is that question, my love? How do I summon Poseidon? I don't, because that's incredibly disrespectful to the god Poseidon, and also, I'm not entirely a huge fan of him anyway, so, yeah. Water god doesn't really tend to get along all that well with my patron, SGF, so. Anyway, that's a thing. As you can see, this is cooling down. We're just going to let it cool. In fact, at this rate, I'm probably not going to photograph this until tomorrow. Which, you know what, I'm okay with, because I don't have room for this anyway. And I kind of want it to be as solid as possible before photographing it. So, with that, I would like to thank you for joining me tonight for this episode of The Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis. My name is Catherine Barsonistas. I run the nerdy food blog, The Gluttonous Geek. I stream on Twitch weekly at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, with recipes inspired by various tabletop role-playing games. This particular recipe was for a honeyed pumpkin cake from Pathfinder's first edition Queen of the, Night of the, I have it right freaking here. Realm of the Fell Night Queen module. And, next week I'm probably going to be making something again from Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder Kingmaker. If you would like to check out my other recipes, please go to my website, thegluttonousgeek.com, or follow me here on Reddit once we actually figure out what's going on with Reddit, or find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/thegluttonousgeek. Thank you so much. This has been my first time streaming on Reddit in addition to Twitch, so it's been a crazy experiment, but I think we had fun. At least I hope that you had fun as well. And as always, stay safe, stay sane, and stay you. My name is Catherine Barsonistas, and you have a wonderful night. Catch you later.